In this video, I'm going to go over some position tips of the open guard where you have a collar and a sleeve grip control in line on the same side. And this is what I mean here, is we're here like this, right? We're just going to kind of be off on like a little angle here. And I'm going to have a cross grip on Russ's right collar here. And my left hand is going to get a grip on his right sleeve. So when I say same side, what I mean is the collar is in line with his sleeve. I'm not getting cross collar and cross sleeve here. So I'm doing left hand grabs his right sleeve, right hand grabs his right collar here. This is a very basic open guard, but if you get good at this, this is actually a very strong open guard to start off with. Especially for beginners who don't know how to play a particular open guard. This is a very good guard to start with the gi on. So I'm here like this. Now notice I have my grips. The next thing I want to do is I want to get some control of his hip. So I take my left leg that's on the same side that I'm controlling here and I put it on his hip. After I do that, I lean my elbow down to the mat and I extend my foot into his hip here. What this does is it controls his posture. It also puts pressure into his hip and it controls his movement. So when he goes to get his posture up, he's going to have trouble. When he goes to move around, he's going to have trouble, and so on and so forth. And if you look at my right knee, it's kind of like in a little bit. And I'll show you different angles. The reason why it's in is because this gives me the ability to curl my legs easier here. Once I establish a connection on his arm, then I'll keep it extended a little bit more. But initially, if I do not have a connection on his arm, I'll start with my leg in, because then that gives me the ability to do the egg beater movements so I can get control of his arm. So when we're here like this, and I have this position, I get cross grip on the collar, left hand grabs the same side, so I'm pretty much attacking his whole entire right side here. So I'm here like this. Then from there, I put my left foot on his hip. So basically, I'm trying to control his entire right side. The reason why I don't put my right foot on his hip is because I'm not really getting that full pressure on him. He doesn't feel that pressure into his hip, and I'm not taking advantage of the fact that I'm pulling his right side forward. By pulling his right side forward and pushing his right hip in, it creates discomfort, and it pretty much like folds him in half. If you notice, as soon as I did that, he kind of does a bow. And that's very important for me, because the less he can get the posture, the more control I have of him, and then the harder it is for him to do certain movements. So I'm here like this. I put my foot on his hip here, and then I lean on my elbow. Notice how I'm on an angle too. I'm not squared up with him. The reason I'm not squared up with him is because my movement isn't as good, and it's harder for me to do other things. When he goes to move around a little bit, it's going to be easier for him to move if I'm squared up. When I'm here like this and I'm leaning on my side, now I have good control. So notice how he's grabbing my pants. This is a very common thing. However, even though he's grabbing my pants, I still have the ability to curl my foot inside. So now that we have this grip, we want to work on using our free leg to control his other arm. So let's say he is grabbing my pants here. So he's grabbing my pants. I'm going to take my foot, curl it inside, bring my knee in, and now I control at his bicep. It's almost like you're playing spider guard, but not really. So now when he goes to get his arm back, I'm going to stay active with my heel. My right heel is going to stay active. If his arm goes down, my heel follows. If his arm goes up, my heel follows. Now I can start working my attacks from here, and there's lots of different things that I can do. So as he's trying to pummel inside, I just stay relaxed. Here, always follow his arm. That way I keep this control. I'm always extending, and so on and so forth. So this is a very good position for me to have. If he's grabbing by my knee, let's say he's grabbing on the inside by the knee here, so I might have trouble curling inside because he's grabbing inside by the knee. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my knee down. So grab the grip again. So he has by the knee like this. I can't curl inside. I cut my knee down, and then from there I can come up. Even if he still keeps the grip, keep the grip here. When I cut the knee down, it messes his grip up, and then I can shoot up, and now I can curl through and then break the grip from there. If you watch in the invisible grappling section, I talk about grip fighting with the gi on when the person's grabbing your pants, and that's pretty much just a review of this stuff. And basically we're controlling the side. So if you get this same side grip here, sleeve and collar, you control their hip, and then you use your free foot to control their other arm, then you're going to have very good opportunities to go for a lot of attacks from this particular open guard. Very basic open guard. We're just here. Notice how I'm on my elbow and I'm on my side. Sometimes I might be like this, but ideally I want to be on my elbow because my posture, my control is better. This leg is extending and I want him to kind of be like bending over. This is a very good position. We have lots of attacks that we can do from here, and you're going to see those in the other videos as well. Another important tip for the positional control of this particular guard is when you have the grip on the sleeve, ideally you want the grip closer to the elbow. The closer to the elbow, the better. The reason being is because when I'm here like this, if I'm closer to his elbow, when he goes to drive his elbow backwards, it's harder for him to drive it back. Also, when he goes to drive his elbow inside, it's hard for him to drive his elbow inside. It also makes it harder for him to drive his hand inside as well. If I'm holding down by the wrist here, I have less control. He can bring his elbow back hard here, and he can drive his elbow inside. Even try to bring your elbow by your hip. Here, this is much easier. So I recommend that you get the grip on their elbow here, and then lean on your elbow, and then work your positions from there. And then you can start working your attacks. One other thing in regards to positional tips is we have our grips, right? We know the position we have with our hands. We know we need to extend them with our leg and control their hip. But we don't want them to get good control of your ankle here. If they get good control of your ankle, then you're going to lose a lot of ability to do lots of things. You're going to be limited to doing omoplatas or other attacks. You can do other attacks, but if they don't get control of this, that's ideal. So let's say he doesn't have me yet. Here, I'm here like this. When he goes to control, I'm paying attention to his hand. Trying to grab my ankle. I'm paying attention. Then I got him. Okay? So we want to kind of do like a, kind of like your leg is a fly, right? Your leg is a fly. He doesn't have a fly. He's just trying to grab the fly with your hand. If you've ever done that in real life, it's super hard. If a fly is flying by, you're trying to grab it with your hand, it is just extremely hard. So you want to be the fly flying around in front of this person, making it hard for them to grab your leg, and then you land in the proper spot, okay? So that's what we want to think about. Don't let them grab your ankle, because let's say you're a super slow fly, right? He doesn't have me yet. Here, I'm just kind of like here, and he grabs. Now my fly's trapped. At that point, he's going to squish me, and then I'm dead. And he's going to pass my guard, or just make my life annoying. So don't let them catch your ankle, because it's going to be annoying. If they grab your pants, it doesn't matter to me anyway, because you have a lot more options, because it's loose. You still have mobility when they grab your pants. It's when they grab your ankle is when it becomes annoying. So play around with this. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. If you need more positional tips on this too, let me know as well, and then I'll do the best I can to help you out. All right.